Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We have been MIA due to the pandemic. However, that has not stopped what God has ordained for us. So happy to be back. There's so much we need to talk about. The topic today is exposing youth. And when I say exposing youth, I mean exposing youth to different, to better. So without further ado, as you guys know, I am Cynthia. So happy to be back in the studio. Organization is Having Sent Youth, and I have been doing that for quite some time. My mission is serving the youth, exposing the youth. Because of my 13-year-old son, it's imperative that I do whatever I possibly can to keep him preoccupied. So why not invite or add as we see fit? So to my right, we have Officer Sabrina King. She has an organization that's called Love Teaching Youth, and I am so honored to have partnered with her. I've learned on this journey that everybody that say that they're with you is not with you. Everybody that says that they're for the kids aren't really for the kids. And so I'm just so elated to be able to partner with her because it just makes my life so much easier. And I say that because we both have the same passion for the same thing, and that's serving our youth. So without further ado, I'm going to let Officer King introduce herself and tell you who she is and what she got going on.
Well, good evening. It is an honor to just be back. I was here before, but it is an honor always to just be in your presence because I love what you're doing. And, just before I can even end this show, I just want to say that, you're an example of what God wants all of these parents to do. Every youth, when I say every, I mean every youth future is filled with possibility. And you're a prime example of how a child in the direction a child should go. And I just commend you for the things that you've been doing with your son and with the kids in the community. And with that being said, as you mentioned, I am a Chicago police officer. It'll be 23 years. Back in 1997, what really inspired me to just begin my own program for youth, I had a nephew that was shot and killed, and it just inspired me to become the police. And with that being said, I never knew that I would be in community policing, working with children in the community. And years after I got on the force, I said, if I can save one. So that's what made me and inspired me to work with children, because I seen the direction. And I grew up in Inglewood, seen a lot of the shootings and a lot of the violence, drugs, gangs, and all of this. And being an example for them would make me feel better to help them. So I just want to say that I love the partnership that we have with children. We've done so many great things, and we have so many things that we must do. And I just want to continue this partnership. And I know that God's hand is all over it. It's nothing but positive things that have came about. And I just know that it's just going to grow. It can't do nothing but grow.
I just listened to what you said, and I've heard you say this a many times, but not until right now it really hit me. It's nothing but divine connection, because you mentioned your nephew being shot. My brother was shot and killed in 1998, and so it left me pretty much the only sibling. And when that happened, it took me to a dark place in my life that I didn't even know that I would, be here. And so with that being said, with all the violence that's going on, and even now, it's just crazy. And so therefore, we as parents have to provide a positive attitude. I'm sorry, listen to me when I say attitude. We as parents have to provide a positive avenue for these kids, because, the streets are so readily open for them, and all the stuff that's going on is just insane. And so I'm just, again, grateful for the partnership, because like she mentioned, we've done so much with these kids. I mean, things that your average adult have not yet experienced. And so these kids, they didn't pretty much done, and the list goes on and on. And what's funny about it is that we typically don't have a set schedule. It's like I'll call and say, "Officer King, what do you think about this?" And she'll be like, "Let's make it happen," or she'll find a connect. And so, you know, it's phenomenal, as she would always say.
And I just must say that, and without the support, we have a lot of support, and I'm happy to say that a lot of outside support. And I don't even want to make mention of the different people, but they know who they are, who
we'll forget.
Have, and I don't want to miss anybody. But without the support of the people, we couldn't even do this alone, because we have to have transportation, we have to have food. You'll be surprised, average kid who, they're looking forward to meeting with us, because that may be their first meal that they've had. Because I'll never forget months ago when we had the kids, we asked how many of you all had a good meal today, or whatever it was, or something. And for most of the kids to say, we asked, well, what did you eat? And we had about
half of the kids through a group chat. We got a group chat with the kids, and probably 15 kids are on there. And she's right. And to hear the things that they said they had for dinner or for lunch or for breakfast was like, oh wow. Some kids said candy.
Most of the kids said candy.
And this is 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon.
And so, with that being said, I like what we do, because not only do we teach about safety, but we talk about health and how, the different foods. And, we can't make anybody eat anything, but, we practice, we try to practice what we preach about eating good fruit and vegetables. Nutritional things. And, I love what we did for Christmas when we had the kids. We had an event, and we talked about etiquette, and then we ended up having the kids to dress up. And then they, just to see how what we taught them, they actually practice it with the different plates and the forks and the setting. So I thought that was a really good thing.
And like she mentioned, we don't, like I mentioned earlier, we don't have a set curriculum or a set agenda of the things that we want to do and expose the kids to. Everything is pretty much on the fly. We get the kids and we see a void. And like she just mentioned, I think we took the kids to IHOP or whatever restaurant we went to, and we noticed that the kids were eating their hands. And I'm like, really? And so they had told us most of them had never been to a restaurant, whereas they, were able to use utensils. And so we thought about, let's do a table etiquette. And from there, we did a banquet, like she mentioned, and it had all the kids dress up, black attire, black and white, red or black and white or whatever. But the boys had on dress shoes and suits.
And ties.
The girls had on
dresses.
And so it was real nice. And the food was catered from
Red Lobster.
So, we really, like she mentioned, got some people that really reach for us. And we really appreciate all those, when I make a Facebook post, hey, could you help out? There's too many to name. And again, I don't want to miss anybody. I don't want to miss anybody's name. So we're just going to say those, like she mentioned. You guys know who you are. We appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts.
But what I really love about this, we're, again, the word exposing. We're introducing them to things that they've never done before, never been before. We're talking about sports that they probably never even dreamed to play. Golf. We're talking about archery. Some of the kids have never been really bowling. Skating. Tennis,
and
swimming.
Like she mentioned, for the most part, from what I see, I don't know about you or anybody else, but for what I see a lot of programs or youth organizations are pretty much geared towards sports, and it's totally fine. No knock against nobody. I have an athletic background, and so for the most part, people thought that I was going to push my son towards sports, and I didn't. I wanted him to be able to find what it is that he enjoys doing, as opposed to me pushing him to something that I enjoy doing. And so I think we do that a lot with the kids. And we understand that we live in areas to whereas every kid that we encounter will not be the next Michael Jordan, will not be the next Jackie Robinson. So, and even girls, so therefore we are outside of the box. And like she mentioned, we do things that, or expose kids to things that typically you have to probably be in a suburban area or a different, I don't know.
Absolutely. But the greatest part about it is it's free.
Everything.
The average program, I know an AAU team, they pay $800 a quarter, just to do basketball. But we're teaching, and that's why it's love teaching youth. We're teaching with everything that we're doing. Everything is about being taught and exposing them. And you don't see a lot of programs like that.
At all. And like she said, everything is free. FREE. From us going in our vehicles, picking these kids up. And that's why she mentioned it would be so nice if we were able to get some transportation and or a hub. It's kind of hard when you're dealing with kids. You're taking them out of their comfort zone, and then they're with us, and we're teaching them something as simple as saying please and thank you. And you guys would be surprised how many kids don't say please and thank you. So we harp on that because no one owes us anything. And if you got somebody that's trying to help you or give you something, the least you can do is say thank you. So it's the little small things that we overlook that the kids have no idea about. And so it's more than just us taking them somewhere. Any chance we get, we teaching them life skills. We empowering them to be whoever it is that they want to be and do whatever it is they want to do and follow their hearts and follow their dreams. We do stuff like we did online dating. We did
teen dating violence.
I'm sorry.
We talked about human trafficking,
peer pressure.
A lot of kids are obese and self-esteem have lost this. And you'd be surprised. We talk about family issues where a lot of the kids who are in broken homes where maybe the mother, maybe the father is not there, the grandmother is taking care of them. And we're talking about different issues that are existing in life right now. Social media. You'd be surprised how many kids don't understand that you're not supposed to give out personal information. And that's how some of these young girls are taken away. So we're talking about issues that exist today.
So our program is open to any and every kid that want to be a part. And the good thing about it is we have a multicultural family. We don't just have African Americans. It's a diverse environment. I think that's what makes it so cool because again, everything is free. And I know you guys are probably wondering how do you get your kid to be a part of it. I'll give you my number. I don't know if Officer King is comfortable giving hers out, but you can reach either of the two. My number is 773-441-0516, and her number is
773-615-6477, or even you can email me at loveteachingyouthsp@gmail.com if you have any questions, or because we are moving forward.
And don't get it twisted. We are not, I repeat, we are not a babysitting service. So contingent upon your child, or you think that your child would be a great fit for our program, we would sit down and speak with the parent, because we find that a lot of parents will generally try to push their kid on others, and that's not what we're about. We are to help. We are here to help, and we'd like to have an understanding, with the parents, to whereas, our expectations of your kids, and because we also realize quickly that all kids don't mix. And so that's very crucial in us gathering the kids together, because we want to make sure it's the right fit for not just us, but for the kids as well. Because it's kind of difficult when you have a problematic child, if I should say, and then all the other kids are pretty much tamed, because it takes away from them. Again, we don't exclude anybody, but at the same time, we would want the parents to be involved in some of the stuff that we do too. But just to give you guys a quick overview of some of the things we've done, I think my favorite trip would definitely be camping. We bust about
Tour bus.
how many kids? How many people?
Well, we had over 40. It was about 48 people.
We took
With
about 48
kids,
parents,
and parents
to
Piatone, Illinois.
to a barn, a black-owned barn. Glenda Griffin. She allowed us to come on her land and stay the night, and it was so cool. We also, we took the kids and South Suburban Ranch lended us their horse and their pony, and some other people brought their horse and their ponies, and we camped. The kids, they had bonfires set up, they had the movie going, and it was a memorable time I'll never forget, because that's my first time ever camping. We also rented an RV. We rented an RV, and some of the kids had a choice whether they wanted to stay outside in the tent or inside, and it was so cool. And so who's doing that? Again, like I said, for free. I talked to a parent the other day, and she was like, "Cynthia, I've been trying to get information about your program and get my kid involved in your program, but you haven't responded." And I'm like, "Oh, well, please forgive me." She said, "Because I was looking at a program that was charging $400 for 4 weeks for a program, to whereas the kids just go in, she drop her kid off, and they have lunch, they have dinner, but they are confined to one space." And I was like, "Are you serious?" And here it is. You just heard us say we bust the kid. I think that place is 2 hours away. 2 hours away.
Expose them.
Oh my goodness, they from the country to farm, to them drinking out of a water well, to them seeing a solar panel house.
Tiny houses,
and just being
different
on
animals.
The farm. It was so cool.
Talked about agriculture and about having raising your own fruit and vegetables and growing your own fruit and vegetables and stuff like that.
And so I don't know if you guys know that horses are used for therapy, and I've been reading up on it, and it actually helps me. A lot of times when I'm not my best, I'll go to the barn. It's quiet, it's peaceful, nobody's there, the animals are there. Just to see the animals go to and from, run across, is so relaxing mentally to me. And so we also see that with a lot of the kids, because when you're up and personal with horses, for the most part, you're intimidated because you got this 1,800-pound animal that's standing there, and you're like, whoa, and the animal looking at you. So, you pretty much don't know which way to go. But you have to be calm and collective to be around these animals. And so it'll definitely change your mental state. Officer King, what would be your favorite outing?
Well, I mean, we've did so many things. Really, to be honest, I love that the kids are learning golf. This is when they explained how there's one particular person that made $1 million in a week from playing golf.
Wow.
It's not even about the money, but golf.
Where can
and the kids,
you can't go anywhere on the south or the west side.
And they're getting golf for free.
For free.
And I want to give a shout out. I gotta say this to Erica, Coach Erica. I mean, this lady is so familiar with it, and she have the compassion for kids. You gotta have a compassion for what you're doing, because if you don't like it, you shouldn't be doing it.
That's true.
And some people are on their jobs just to, maybe have ends to meet. But I love what I do. I work with kids all day, and I love it. This is just, the golf. And the reason I bring up golf is because we first are in a classroom setting, learning how to putt, learning how to drive the ball, learning it. And then they go out to the course. And then most of the kids have never thought about golf. All of them raise their hand. Have you? No. And now they're hitting the ball better than me.
And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, do you realize that these things that we're exposing these kids to are life lessons as well? Because with golf, you have to have patience. a lot of adults don't have patience. You have to, you have to be determined. It's all mental to hit that ball out. You just can't go out there and just think that you're gonna hit the ball and with no guidance.
And then what we did on 4th of July, it was amazing. Where one door shut, God always opened another, because we were really told, oh, on the 4th of July, they're shooting and this and that. But just to see how it was a peaceful day of kids, the police, community members. It was, we had different race of people in the park. I mean, it was amazing. From a softball game with the police and the kids, to the jumping jack, to the volleyball game, to they had refreshments. The kids they were in the sprinkler. You had kids on the swings.
The big ball thing.
We had, the kids were
inside of the big ball.
They were doing sack races. And to see the smiles on everybody's face was amazing. We just had an amazing time. These are things that we do for holidays. We know that, you can't really do this, you can't really do that, because they're shooting out on the corners. But we bus kids into the park. We bus kids just yesterday to Great America.
We also we did a barber class.
And thanks to our sponsors,
absolutely,
for paying for that.
It was a 4-week learn how to cut hair, and
amazing to see our young girls and boys learning, being exposed
exactly
to cutting hair. We even did over last year, even around the pandemic. The kids learned how to mow lawn.
Oh yeah, they sure did. So everything, we're just spontaneous. Wherever we see a need and whatever we feel that the kids need to be exposed to.
For Thanksgiving, we gave out turkeys, had the kids helping to pass out food to senior citizens. It's amazing. I can go on and on from a Sox game to a Bulls game.
Bears.
They've been to the Bears
WNBA.
game. They've been to the WNBA games. Exposing them from and some of the kids haven't even been downtown. We've been to Navy Pier, taking them to Navy Pier. I can go on and on and on and on. I mean, exposing them of how to dress, how to say thank you when somebody gives you something, teaching them about teen dating violence, teaching them about bullying, teaching them about human trafficking, topics that they never even thought about. Talking about social media, how, when there's a fight going on, you're not taking your phone and trying to follow a fight, and just giving them real life learning lessons about things to do and things not to do.
We also did a Zoom finance course that we put together, where we taught the kids about stocks and bonds and finance, and it's so
credit cards and
debit cards.
How when we were coming up, nobody taught us about or told us about, don't you go get no student loan. And here I am, I'm about 54 years old. I just recently paid off my student loans. But we're teaching them, you don't have to get a student loan. There's other avenues of how you can get financial aid, on how to get scholarships instead of going out getting a student loan.
And what was so cool about during the course, it was during the time when the PP loans were out. And so we explained to the kids, how that worked. We talked about credit score and things that'll damage your credit. And, we told them the difference between a loan and a grant. And it was funny because for the most part, the kids thought that was free money. So after course, I told them, I said, now you guys can explain to your mom or tell your mom that you know exactly how this process works. And so, like she said, we don't really get a chance to expose the kids. And I just want to thank Officer King for coming out. I want to give a shout out to my son and my mother and my grandmother for being my support system. I thank you guys immensely. Thank God for being the head of my life. I thank CAN TV for giving us this platform.
So I really just want to thank Cynthia, who, she have just been just she have played just a great part in my life with
Aw.
my programming and helping with children, because you need help especially when you're dealing with kids,
Real
and to
help.
have somebody that you trust, her loyalty. There's grants out here. Every time she's telling me about grants, telling me about people that's able to help us. Most folk, if there's a grant, I'm gonna try to get it and then I'll tell you about it. But the sincerity of a true friendship and business partner, I really appreciate it. God he's just been good. His hand is all over it, and I just see things moving forward, us going up and not even going back. And I just want to say thank you. Thanks for the opportunity today.
So again, like she said, it's important that you guys find someone that works with you. Everybody can't do everything, and for me, I am not good at writing. I hate writing, and that's Officer King's specialty. Because guess what? That's what she do at work, write paperwork. And for me, I am the what do you call it? What do you call it? The social media guru. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Till next time, you guys be safe out there.